Welcome back to the 105. Miami is not done in the transfer portal, and Drew, the number one player, now the new number one player in the 24/7 Sports transfer portal, is off the board. Carson Beck, formally declared for the NFL draft. Not so fast, my friend. He is going down to Miami to join his girlfriend, who is on the basketball team for Miami as well, down there in Coral Gables. In Drew, you think about this, pretty similar to Cam Ward, who was a guy that much of the scouts in the NFL thought was a late day two, potentially early day three NFL draft choice. Carson Beck in the preseason was a guy that a lot of people thought had a chance to be the number one pick in the draft, not a top five, not a top 10 pick, the number one pick in the draft. A year later, some misfortune with the injury, tears his UCL in the SEC championship, reevaluates going into the NFL draft. And now with the Miami Hurricanes, Drew, somebody who lives in the state of Florida, follows this program pretty closely. What were just your honest thoughts about a two-year starter in the SEC who's gone 24-3, who's also taken his fair share of criticism? What do you think about the fit here for Mario Cristobal and the Canes?
Well, a couple of things, Coop. I think we knew Miami, ever since that Pop-Tarts Bowl, was going to have to find an answer at quarterback. So not surprised to see them get the prized arm in the transfer portal. My second take, I remember when Carson Beck threw for the Hurricanes many, many moons ago. He was a Florida baseball commit at the time. Mark Richt did not offer him a scholarship. So just kind of funny how this is coming all circle. But Cooper, for the Hurricanes, right? I think this makes a lot of sense. They've returned a bunch of veteran experience up front. They've added some offensive linemen, but really they kind of have their starting five. Now, my questions are, all right, do they have playmakers on the outside ready to go for Carson Beck? You think about a guy like JoJo Trader, right? Jeremiah Smith's high school teammate. He didn't get a ton of burn year one, but we did see him flash in the postseason, had a long touchdown catch in that Pop-Tart Bowl that I mentioned. So I think for Miami, hey, this is Mario just going out and getting the best they can, or the best that is available. And the formula is in place. Miami can now go to other quarterbacks that are looking to not only get paid, but just upgrade their draft stock. Cam Ward was first. Now you have Carson Beck doing it.
Well, that's the interesting part about this, right? I mean, you look at the resume here for Carson Beck: over 7,400 yards passing, 52 touchdowns, 18 INTs, 12 of those, which came this past season in 2024 with the Georgia Bulldogs. Drew, Miami is rumored to pay north of $4 million for Carson Beck in the transfer portal. You think about that, that's more money than Brock Purdy will be making this year in the NFL, more money than he would make as a day two NFL draft choices, which is where he's projected. You think about Miami, now what they've done, Cam Ward, rumored or linked to being a very high draft choice in the NFL draft here in a few months. You know, whether that's number one, whether that's number five, remains to be seen. But if you're Miami, I know a lot of people are excited about Emory Williams. I know a lot of people are excited about the prospect of Luke Nickel as well. But all of a sudden, you've kind of put together a little bit of a blueprint here that says, hey, we have the roster ready to go to compete for an ACC championship, a potential playoff berth. And on top of that, you can be well compensated, and you get to rebuild your draft stock with the appropriate pieces around you and supporting cast, where you know you're going to have the play caller in Shannon Dawson. You know you're going to have the offensive line with Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal. What can they do at the receiver and tight end position remains to be seen. They brought in C.J. Daniels, Alex Bowman as well from Tulane. So they're doing some things there. But this is a pretty appetizing situation for Carson Beck, who's going to make more money than he would have if he would have came out this year, and now has a chance to rebuild his draft stock and potentially go back as a day one. If you're Miami, why not keep doing this, right?
Yeah, and the other thing, Coop, it's setting up some really good opening games for us in 2025. Remember, Miami opens the year against Notre Dame. They play Florida a few weeks later, so we're going to have DJ Lagway versus Carson Beck. I don't know. Who do you think Notre Dame's guy is going to be in 2025 when they travel down to Miami Gardens?
I'm going to say CJ Carr. But that being said, I think Stephen Jelly has made this a lot more interesting. And I think even before what we saw last week in the playoff game when he entered for Riley Leonard, I think Stephen Jelly is a guy that a lot of people have spoken highly of in South Bend. So it would be a little premature to kind of throw him to the side and say that he's not going to be a factor in that quarterback room. Drew, on the flip side of this, Georgia. Gunnar Stockton took over in the second half of the SEC championship for Carson Beck, played admirably in the playoff game against Notre Dame. You look at the stat line there, 20 of 32, 234, and a touchdown. Is this an upgrade for Georgia? Is this a guy that Kirby Smart can ride into another national championship appearance? I mean, what are your thoughts on Gunnar Stockton and how you've evaluated him and what we've seen in that limited exposure here late in the season?
Well, I don't think he was the issue there in the Sugar Bowl, Cooper. Here's my take on the Georgia quarterback situation. I spent some time in San Antonio with Benjamin Wolk, who covers the Dogs for 24/7 Sports. I think Georgia's trying to get more athletic at quarterback. And Gunnar Stockton, you think about him, I wouldn't put him as in that dual threat bucket, but he's a guy that ran for a lot of yards in high school, and he can create as a scrambler, situationally. And so I think Georgia wants to get a little bit more mobile back there. And this isn't really just kind of a theory, because look at what they've done on the recruiting front, really, since the midway point of this past season. They were involved with Camario Taylor, one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the 2025 cycle. He ends up signing with Mississippi State. And you look at the 2026 arms that they've slowly kind of gotten on campus. Landon Duckworth, a kid out of Alabama. Hey, who knows? Maybe they throw their hat in the ring for Keyshawn Henderson, who we talked about on the front end of the show. But I think Georgia wants to get more athletic, and Gunnar Stockton certainly is a guy that you can do some RPO stuff with. You can bootleg him. You can ask him to, do a quarterback draw in certain situations. That's kind of my read on Georgia right now.
Well, I think if you're Georgia, you got to go back to 2 years ago when you had Brock Bowers and you had Ladd McConkey. We see what they're doing in the NFL. You take those guys away, and then you throw out an Oscar Delp or a Lawson Lucky or a Dylan Bell. Obviously, you're supposed to have Colby Young. You got to find a way to get more dynamic. That's why they brought in Zachariah Branch, one of the best players in the transfer portal. We'll see if that's enough. If I'm Georgia, I'm still lurking in the portal. Wide receiver is a very, very deep position room.